Pickles and brine vegetables may seem like innocent snacks or flavorful additions to meals, but for anyone with high blood pressure, they can be surprisingly dangerous. These foods are typically preserved in solutions that are extremely high in sodium, often several times the amount found in fresh vegetables. What many people fail to realize is that the salt content in a small serving of pickles or olives can approach, or even exceed, the daily recommended sodium limit for someone managing hypertension. Consuming them habitually is like pouring gasoline on a simmering fire. The blood pressure spike may be subtle at first, but over time it significantly increases cardiovascular risk. The primary mechanism of harm is sodium-induced fluid retention. Sodium attracts water into the bloodstream, increasing blood volume and, consequently, the pressure exerted on arterial walls. This effect is particularly dangerous for people with pre-existing hypertension, whose arteries are already under strain. Over time, repeated exposure to high-salt foods like pickles can accelerate arterial stiffening, reduce vascular elasticity, and force the heart to work harder with every beat. This chronic strain contributes directly to left ventricular hypertrophy, a thickening of the heart muscle that can eventually progress to heart failure or arrhythmias if left unchecked. What makes pickles and brine vegetables especially insidious is their deceptive nature. Many people perceive them as healthy because they are vegetables, fermented, or low in calories. However, the fermentation process does not eliminate sodium. In fact, it relies on salt to preserve the vegetables and prevent bacterial growth. Similarly, the term natural, often used on labels, can mislead consumers into believing these foods are harmless, when in reality, a single pickle spear or small serving of olives can contain 200 to 400 milligrams of sodium. Multiple servings in a single meal or throughout the day can quietly push a hypertensive individual far beyond safe limits. In addition to sodium, some brine vegetables contain other additives and preservatives that may contribute to vascular stress. Chemical stabilizers, flavor enhancers, and in some commercial preparations, even sugar can compound the negative effects on blood pressure and metabolic health. These hidden components increase inflammation, promote oxidative stress, and reduce the efficiency of blood vessels in regulating pressure. The combination of high sodium and added chemicals makes pickled and brined foods a particularly potent dietary risk factor for hypertension. Another danger is the habitual nature of consumption. Pickles and brine vegetables are often served as snacks, side dishes, or toppings, encouraging people to eat them repeatedly throughout the day without realizing the cumulative sodium intake. A single meal could contain multiple servings from sandwiches, salads, and side plates, quietly creating a massive overload of sodium. For people already sensitive to salt, this can lead to fluid retention, swelling, headaches, and sudden spikes in blood pressure, effects that are often dismissed as minor but contribute to long-term vascular damage. The long-term consequences of regular consumption are severe. Chronic high sodium intake from pickled foods accelerates the stiffening of arteries, increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and kidney dysfunction, and complicates blood pressure management. It also interacts negatively with other lifestyle and dietary factors. For instance, combining pickled vegetables with processed meats, fast food, or canned soups compounds the cumulative sodium load, creating a perfect storm for worsening hypertension. Even those who exercise regularly or maintain a healthy weight can be at risk if they consume pickled foods habitually. Finally, the subtlety of the danger is what makes pickles and brine vegetables particularly deceptive. Unlike the immediate discomfort of overeating salty snacks, the damage from these foods is gradual, silent, and cumulative. Blood vessels stiffen, kidney function declines, and the heart endures chronic strain long before any obvious symptoms appear. By the time warning signs like severe headaches, swelling, or noticeable spikes in blood pressure manifest, substantial damage may already have occurred. In conclusion, pickles and brine vegetables are far more than a simple garnish or flavor enhancer. Their high sodium content, combined with hidden additives and the potential for repeated consumption, makes them a silent but serious threat to people with high blood pressure. Chronic intake promotes fluid retention, vascular stiffening, heart strain, and kidney stress, while subtly accelerating the progression of hypertension. For anyone managing high blood pressure, these seemingly harmless snacks should be approached with extreme caution, portion awareness, and ideally limited or avoided entirely to prevent long-term cardiovascular harm.